Okay, yes. Now tell me, who can tell me the proper names of three farm bills?
Ma'am,
Yes,
अभी
Ma'am,
सबने
Shri.
जैसे
Ma'am,
Ma'am, first is promotion.
Only promotion.
हम promotion and facilitation.
Second, ma'am, promotion and facilitation. Second is protection
Just
and empowerment. Third is amendment. Third is amendment.
but these are not the proper. Only one word. Only one word is not there.
ma'am, can I?
Okay, yes, Shri.
Ma'am, can I?
Yes, Shri, Shri. Okay.
Ma'am,
The farmers' empowerment and protection agreement of price assurance and farm services bill.
Yes, very good.
The ma'am, second, the Essential Commodities Act Amendment Bill,
Very good.
and third, the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill.
Yes. So these are the three names of the farm bills. All of you must know. At least you should know, not these big ones properly. At least you should know essential commodity bill, then farmers produce bill, and third one was mm, contract
Ma'am,
farming
protection. Ma'am,
Protection and empowerment.
protection.
protection. Protection of what?
empowerment and protection.
Yes, empowerment and protection. So at least these names you should know. Okay. So if you will find out the full name, then at least you will remember something from that. Okay. Essential commodities, farmers produce, and this protection act also. Okay. So let's come back to the chapter. So I was telling you the introduction part, okay, where in agriculture, what is the meaning of the word agriculture? Agri means soil and culture means cultivation. Then what all we are going to read in this chapter. Then I told you that agriculture is a primary activity. So when I say this, what do I mean by this? That means the process of converting the plant into the finished product involves three types of activities, three types of economic activities it involves. So what are those three types of economic activities? Primary activity, secondary and tertiary activity. So primary activity is the extraction and the production of natural resources. That means the growing of the crops, that comes under primary activity. So that's why we put agriculture under primary activity. Then secondary activity, when these crops are harvested and they are taken to the factories for the threshing, for shredding, and for converting it into flour. So that is processing of resources, that comes under secondary activities. And last is the tertiary activity. Tertiary activities, it supports the primary and the secondary sector, like transport activities are there, then trade, insurance, banking, advertising. All these are the examples of tertiary activities. Underline this line on your in your book on page 40. I don't know the page number, but the first page of the chapter. In that third paragraph, last line, transport, trade, banking, insurance, and advertising are the examples of tertiary activities. Okay. So these are the three economic activities. What are economic activities? Which involves buying and selling of any of the product or the services, and it involves money exchange also. It gains get you some profit. So these are called economic activities. Okay. And under this, we are going to study about agriculture, which is a primary activity, and it includes what? It includes growing the crops, fruits, vegetables, flowers, and rearing of livestock. This is just a recapitulation we are doing. So 50% of the world's population is engaged in agriculture activity, and two-thirds of India's population is still dependent on agriculture, or you can say 70% of the rural people, they depend on the agriculture. And what are the two important factors that influence agriculture? That is land and climate. And under land, what is arable land? Arable land is the land on which crops are grown, and climate also should be suitable. So these two are the important factors. Other factors also, somehow they directly or indirectly, it affects the growth of the crops. Okay, then yes, we were doing this one. So different types of culture. Here culture does not mean tradition or cultures. Here culture means cultivation. Okay, so you were telling me the these 5 types of cultures. First is, which is this one?
Sericulture.
Yes, second,
Sericulture.
very simple. And which is the
Sericulture.
leaf? On which
Sericulture.
the leaf, which leaf is involved, or we can say which tree is
Mulberry
involved?
Sericulture.
Yes,
Mulberry
very good,
leaves.
mulberry leaf.
Mulberry leaf.
Mulberry leaves.
Mulberry leaf.
Mulberry silkworms.
Okay, mulberry leaves. Okay, yes, sericulture. So can anyone define sericulture? What do you mean by sericulture?
Ma'am, the growth of silkworms to obtain silk from them on large
Rearing of
scale is
silkworms
called
on a large scale is called
sericulture. Sericulture.
Just rearing of the silkworms for the silk is known as sericulture. Okay, for commercial purposes. And second is, what is there in which you can see
Pisciculture.
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 So this is known as
Pisciculture.
Ma'am,
what
rearing
is-
and caring of fishes.
Yes,
On a large
breeding
scale.
of
On large scale to
fishes,
obtain
on a
meat
large
from them.
scale
Fishes on
To obtain
large
meat on large
scale.
scale.
to obtain, yes, or you can say that oil is also obtained from the fishes. Which oil is that?
Cod liver oil.
Cod liver oil.
Cod liver
Yes, very
oil.
good. Yes, they are rich in omega-3 fatty acids.
But is used in medicines also.
Yes, yes, definitely. Okay, so yes, so breeding of fishes is known as pisciculture. Fish when it is of one kind, fishes when it is of
Pisciculture.
different kinds of fishes. Okay, then what is this culture where grapes are having?
Ma'am,
Viticulture.
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 Cultivation of grapes.
Cultivation of grapes.
Yes, viticulture where cultivation of grapes is done on a large scale, on a large piece of land. Okay. Then next is, this is,
Horticulture.
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 yes, horticulture is the growing of fruits, vegetable and flowers. 3 things are involved in horticulture.
And flowers.
Fruits, vegetable and flowers.
Vegetables and
These
flowers.
things are grown
Flowers
under
for
favorable
commercial
conditions
use.
for commercial purposes. So that is called horticulture. Okay. And last is very simple, which
Horticulture.
we are
Agriculture.
so the
Obtaining
chapter which we are
crop,
studying, that is agriculture. So
yes.
that is called agriculture. Is there any other culture other than this that you know?
Ma'am, apiculture. Rearing of
Apiculture.
honeybees.
Apiculture.
Apiculture. Rearing of bees for the
Apiculture.
honeybee.
Ma'am,
Yes,
poultry,
For
dairy farming,
obtaining
poultry
Ma'am,
farming.
dairy
from
farming and
honeybees.
poultry.
Ma'am, poultry farming.
poultry
Ma'am,
farm.
Ma'am,
Poultry and
poultry
dairy
farming
farming.
and dairy farming.
Good. Very good. Yes. So next is the world distribution of arable land. So this is there in your book also, very important. So you must know when you study agriculture, so you must know that around the world which area is suitable, means arable land is spread where all around the world. Okay, so here all where you can see the dark marked area, that is called arable land. So you know about the world map, okay, which is this area here. What is here?
No.
Ma'am, America.
North America.
North
Some part of
America.
North America, okay, USA. So some part of USA is arable land. Then you come here down, which is this part.
Canada.
Mexico.
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 Canada is here
Mexico.
on the top. Yes, this is Mexico. Then here,
South America.
Brazil.
Brazil,
This is
very
Brazil.
good.
Brazil.
And here,
Brazil.
what is here?
Chile.
Chile is this side. Chile is this side, and this side is Argentina.
Yeah.
Okay? Yes. So then come to Africa. So some part of Africa is also involved. This is a very important country here in the center of the Africa. Can anyone name
Congo.
that? We have studied, yes.
Congo, ma'am. DRC.
Congo.
Yes, very
Democratic
good.
Republic of Congo.
You remember in your fifth
Democratic Republic of Congo. DRC.
DRC.
memory is quite
DRC.
sharp. So in the 5th standard, you had this, no? One full chapter was there on DRC.
Ma'am, yes.
Democratic Republic
Yes,
of Congo.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, very good.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
That's good that if you remember that. Okay. So then this, what is here?
Cape
This
Town.
is South Africa.
Cape Town.
Gabon.
South Africa.
Here
South
is
Africa.
Zimbabwe, Cape Town, all this area is
Zimbabwe.
there. Okay, yes. Fine. Then see, large area in Europe.
Europe.
So
Europe.
this is almost
Europe.
full. Europe has a rebel land. Okay, this
The
is all
European, ma'am.
Yes,
Italy,
ma'am.
Europe.
France,
Ma'am, yes.
Germany, Poland,
Spain,
Italy.
UK.
Ma'am, Holland, full
Greece,
Europe.
ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
Italy,
Netherlands.
Rome.
Greece, Rome. Yes, so all this area is full arable land here. So it's little part of Russia is also there. Okay. Then India, you know, no need to explain. Okay,
India.
you well know. And what
Yes.
which is this part?
Ma'am,
Japan.
whole area.
China,
Hong Kong.
China,
Japan.
China area.
Yes, Japan is
China.
also there. And
China.
Yes, very good.
Vladivostok.
So Japan and China also has a rebel land. Then in Australia,
Western
Ma'am,
China.
Perth.
Western China.
Western China.
Ma'am, West
Perth and
China.
Hey, this
Sydney.
is West China or East China?
ma'am,
Ma'am,
Eastern
Perth.
China.
East China.
East China. it is.
Eastern.
East China. If you talk about Asia, so this part is
Ma'am,
South Asia. So
East
we
China.
come under
East
Southern
China.
we are in India.
Tibet.
So
East
India
China.
is in
South
South
Asia.
Asia. Okay,
South
South Asia.
Asia.
Southeast Asia is China. Okay. Then if you talk about Australia, so Australia also has little bit
Perth,
arable land.
Sydney.
This is what here, this side,
Perth.
Ma'am,
No, Sydney.
Perth. Sydney is here.
Earth.
This is Perth, and this opposite side is Sydney.
Sydney, yes.
I
Sydney,
think Perth.
Melbourne, Canberra. What is the
Melbourne,
capital of
Canberra.
Australia?
Canberra.
Canberra. Very good. So
Ma'am,
Canberra is also
Australia
there.
is continent and country.
Yes, both. So yes, so this area. So now at least you have a clear picture in your mind. So because it is very important to understand this distribution of arable land, because when you are going to study about different types of farming, which is going to come next. So in that, when we will be studying different types of farming, so in that the area you should know that which type of farming is done in which type in which area. So now at least you have a little idea that arable land is available in which all areas around the world. Clear? So now next
Yes,
is
ma'am.
farm system. Farm system means now you know the definition of agriculture. What is agriculture? It is the science and art of cultivation on the soil, raising crops and rearing livestock. Okay, this all is called agriculture, and it is also known as farming. So underline this definition of agriculture you must know. So when we say agriculture, we only understand that it is all about farms and growing crops. But proper definition is the science and art of cultivation on the soil, raising the crops and rearing livestock. It is also called farming. And agriculture and farming can be looked at as a system. So what do you mean by system? System is where some people are working, okay, they are working on a process and some output is being obtained from that process. So here, this agriculture, that is farming, it is also a system where you're putting the inputs, where farmer is putting the inputs, and what he is getting an output from the inputs which he had put in that. So what are the inputs which the farmers are putting while growing the crops? So these are the inputs, like first of all, seeds, fertilizers, machinery, labor. Okay, so these are the
Manure.
inputs. Yes, so many things that comes under fertilizers. So these are the things which the farmers are putting while growing the crop. So this is the input, and after putting lot of hard work and sweat, he's giving it to the crops which he is growing on the field. So after 5 or 6 months, when the crops are being ripened, so then after harvesting, the yield which he is getting, that is called the output. It can be the crops, it can be the wood if the trees are grown, it can be dairy if there is a rearing of livestock, and poultry products also if there is a poultry farming or whatever it is. Okay, so different kinds of outputs will be there depending on what kind of process the farmer is involved in. Okay, so that's why we call agriculture as a system. So why it is called a system? Because it requires some inputs and then output is being obtained from that. So here again you have these pictures in your book also. So inputs are, these all things are the inputs: machinery, seeds, chemicals, Okay, then which are the processes involved? So these are the processes: plowing, sowing, and spraying. And much more is that at the time of harvesting, threshing, uh, then storing. So all these processes are involved.
Winnowing.
Yes. So many processes are involved, and after
Winnowing.
that, yes. So after that, what we get
Threshing.
crops from that. So what is the output? Output is the crops. Okay. And other than this,
Crops.
these are the inputs which the farmers is putting. But you know that there are other inputs also which the environment is putting. That is also very important. So that comes under physical inputs.
Water.
Physical inputs means which is provided by the nature. Okay, that is also very important while growing any crop, because you know that kharif crops, they don't grow in rabi season, and rabi crops, they don't grow in kharif season. Why? Because any type of crop requires a certain
Because
type of
kharif crops need more
soil
water.
and
Because
temperature.
they need certain physical.
Yes, they need certain physical inputs, but which
Some
is
condition.
required for that temperature of that crop only. Okay, it is not only that all types of crops, they require same type of temperature and soil. So that's why there is a distribution of different crops around the world, depending on what type of soil and temperature it requires. So these are the physical inputs. If it is asked that what are the physical inputs required in the agriculture, so then you will write sunshine,
Sunlight.
temperature, slope, soil,
Sunlight,
wind.
water, rain,
Yes. So
soil.
these are the physical inputs which are required in the agriculture. And human inputs means what the human is doing for the growing of the crops. That means storage, labor, machinery, chemicals. So these all things.
Machinery, chemicals.
Yes, so
Threshing,
these are the human
winnowing.
inputs. Clear? So now you know that agriculture is a system where inputs are given and output is taken out. And it involves a lot of processes also in between. So you can write inputs are machinery, seeds, chemicals, labor, and processes which are involved, and output is the yield, the produce that you get from the field. And other than this, there are physical inputs also, like the temperature. Environment also plays a major role, because every crop requires a certain specific type of temperature and soil. Okay, and human inputs are also there. What human is doing in the agriculture process, so what all his part is there, that storage, labor, machinery, and chemicals. Clear? So this was agriculture as a system. Now next topic is types of farming.
Types.
Okay, yes. So when I say types of farming, first of all, just have an overview. Just have an overview that what are the different types of farming. In details, we will study later, but just have an overview that there is two type of farming. Okay, two type of farming is
Subsistence.
there: subsistence farming and commercial farming. Okay, just understand this. Two types of farming. Mainly it is of two types, that is subsistence and agriculture. And under subsistence ke under further there are two types. So subsistence farming is again is of two types, that is intensive subsistence and primitive subsistence.
Primitive.
Okay, intensive subsistence and primitive subsistence. So under this again, primitive subsistence is again of two types. Okay, two types are shifting cultivation and nomadic herding. So this is all about one type of
Nomadic
farming,
herding.
that is subsistence farming. Again, I'm telling you, two types of main farming is there: subsistence farming and commercial farming. Subsistence farming is again divided into two, that is intensive subsistence and primitive subsistence. Again, primitive subsistence is divided into two: shifting cultivation and
Shifting
nomadic
cultivation
herding.
and nomadic herding.
Yes. Please mute yourself. I can hear the voice of this. Some vendor is there selling something. Okay. Yes. So subsistence farming, I hope you know the types. Then commercial farming. Commercial farming is mainly of two types, but three types are given in your book: grain farming, mixed farming, and plantation. Okay. Grain farming, mixed farming, and plantation. Three types of commercial farming is there. So first we will just understand that what is subsistence farming. So depending upon the geographical conditions, demand of produce, labor, and level of technology. So all these things, you know that we have already studied that agriculture is a system, so which involves so many things. So depending on all that things, farming can be classified into two main types. Two main types are subsistence farming and commercial farming. So now let us look at what is subsistence farming. Okay, subsistence farming is, just understand from the heading, what do you mean by the word subsistence? Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of the word subsistence? Subsistence means what is required for the existence. Okay, something that is required for the existence, for the survival. So mainly in India, it is intensive subsistence.
Maintaining or supporting.
Yes, so this subsistence farming is practiced to meet the needs of the farmer's family. Okay, first the family need is looked upon, and then if there is a chance, if there is excess produce which can be sold in the mandi, then that process is taken care of. But first the priority is to meet the needs of the farmer's family. So that is called subsistence farming. Subsistence farming means it is not a commercial level. Commercial level पे means the full area is just grown for the selling purpose. उसमें से कुछ भी it is not taken from your own personal interest. उसमें family के लिए कुछ भी नहीं निकालते हैं. Everything is for the commercial purpose only. But in subsistence farming, it is practiced to meet the needs of the farmer's family first. The priority is that. Okay, so you know in this there's a small piece of land. So what it requires low level of technology. Household labor can do the work, means there is no need of hiring the labor from the outside and getting the work done. So household labor can do the work and small output is produced. Okay, so this is subsistence farming. So under subsistence farming, again I told you that two type of subsistence farming is there. One is intensive subsistence and primitive subsistence. So now understand the word
Primitive.
intensive. What is the meaning of the word intensive? Intensive means requires hard work, rigorous work, means which requires lot of hard work. So intensive subsistence means where small plot of lands are cultivated with simple tools and more labor. Okay, that means here very advanced technology machinery is not involved. Small plots of lands are there, like in here in Punjab also you can see that there is a partition of the farms. Okay, so farms are there, that is considered a small plot of land which is cultivated and with simple tools and more labor is required in that. So here more than one crop are grown annually. You must have seen here that annually there are two crops grown. First 6 months rice, then next 6 months wheat. So alternatively in 1 year, two types of crops are grown, and that takes almost 5 to 6 months to get mature. Okay, so rice is the main crop and it is prevalent in the thickly populated area. Which are the areas which involves this intensive subsistence? It is given in your book that intensive subsistence agriculture is prevalent in the thickly populated areas of the monsoon regions of South, Southeast and East Asia. So I told you in the map that which is the
East
area.
Asia.
Yes, so Southeast and East Asia is what? South Asia, India is there. Southeast Asia, China is there. So here in India, China.
India,
this
China.
India,
intensive-
China.
Yes, and East Asia,
India.
Subsistence
China only.
agriculture.
Yes. So here this
Of China
intensive
also and
subsistence
Myanmar.
agriculture is done. Okay, I hope you understood intensive subsistence. Mainly in India, it is intensive
ma'am.
subsistence agriculture is done. Next is primitive subsistence. So what is the meaning of the word primitive? Primitive का मतलब क्या है? What is the meaning of the word primitive? When I say it is primitive method, old method. Yes, primitive means old method. So two types of primitive methods are there. That is shifting a cultivation and nomadic herding. So shifting
Nomadic
cultivation.
herding.
Yes. So what is shifting? You can see here in the picture. See, you can see the trees are cut down. Okay, so trees are cut down and then
Yes, ma'am.
something is grown. You can see these green plants are grown here. So trees are cut down and then crops are grown. So what is shifting cultivation? Understand the two processes. Primitive subsistence agriculture are of two types, that is shifting cultivation and nomadic herding. Very simple to understand. Shifting cultivation is what? Shifting means when you shift the agriculture, means for 6 months you are cultivating on one land and then you are leaving that land and going to the next land. So what is done here? It is practiced in the thickly forest areas of Amazon basin. Where is Amazon? Where is Amazon?
South.
It's
It
in
is in
South
Africa.
America.
South
America,
America.
South
Yes.
America.
And you
America.
know Amazon is the largest river
Largest
or
river.
longest?
Largest river.
Largest.
It's
Largest or the longest?
Ma'am,
Largest.
largest river.
Largest.
Longest is the
Largest.
Nile
Longest.
river.
Yes.
Ma'am,
very
Nile
good.
is the
Yes.
longest.
Nile is the longest river.
Nile is the longest and Amazon is the largest. So Amazon basin in South America and little bit of Africa and parts of Southeast Asia, China and Northeast India also. So these are the areas where the shifting cultivation is practiced. Though it is an old method, but still you can say that it is the method involved by the poor peoples. Some tribal people, poor people, they do not have their own lands.
Ma'am, homes in the Northeast India.
Yes, they do not have their own land, so they practice this shifting cultivation. This is an old method. Mostly it was banned also for some time, but still it is being used in some parts of South America, Africa, then China, and in India also, in Northeast India also, little where it is practiced. So what is done here? It is also known as, you must have heard in history, maybe हमने पढ़ा था झूम cultivation. I think
Yes,
that-
ma'am.
Slash and burn.
Homes.
Yes.
Ma'am, slash
Shifting
and burn.
cultivation. See, it is given
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
book
Slash and
also.
burn.
Yes. So it is given in the book also. Do you
Yes.
know? One box is there. And do you know? So shifting cultivation is known by different names in different parts of the world. Take this box. It is important. So jhuming
Jhumming.
cultivation in Northeast India, it is known as milpa in Mexico, Roca in Brazil, and Ladang in Malaysia. So these are the different names of the shifting
Ladang.
cultivation only in different parts of the world. Okay, so what is done here? So I told you the regions where this shifting cultivation is done. So a plot of land is cleared, or can anyone tell me if you have any idea? What is shifting cultivation? What is this slash and burn agriculture?
Ma'am,
क्या
yes.
करते हैं
May I?
Can I?
Ma'am, yes.
Kalin,
May I?
May I?
Okay, Ravnoor. Yes,
Can I?
Ravnoor. Yes, Ravnoor.
Ma'am,
ये बोलिए.
first of all, some part of land like forest are cut down, and then it is burnt,
Burnt.
and
Very
the
good.
ash is uh, used in the growth of plants in the soil,
Right.
and the plants are grown.
Okay. And do they grow on the same land again?
No, ma'am, they change the land again.
Yes, they change the land
No.
again for the restoration also for the same land. So yes, Ravnoor has rightly said that what is done here, a plot of land is cleared. थोड़ा सा area होता है, when they select that land, whether it is fit, first they check the soil also. Okay, first they check the soil that whether it is suitable for that crop which they want to grow there. So a plot of land is cleared by felling the trees. वहां से जितने भी trees or plants को cut कर देते हैं and they burn them. And after burning, the ashes which are left that are mixed with the soil, because they believe that these are the nutrients of the trees and the plants which get mixed up with the soil, and then they grow crops on them. And after growing the crops, when the crops are they are ripened, then they are harvested, and after that they leave that land for several years for the restoration. Restoration means they believe that it is not good to grow again the same crop in the same land, because you know that one crop which requires that nutrient, so that is already taken by one crop.
So that
So again,
nutrients
yes,
can.
again if you will grow, so you will not get that much amount of good produce will not get. So
And
that's
we
why
can
they leave.
consider yield fallow as a part of shifting cultivation.
Which one? What?
Ma'am, field fellow as a
Field
part
fellow.
of
Field fellow.
No, ma'am.
Yes, can be.
Ma'am,
Yes, that is
something
also there.
related to this. Ma'am,
Yes.
because इसमें छोड़ रहे हैं.
Yes, because then you are leaving that land for the restoration की जितने उसमें से nutrients the plant has taken. So that land needs to get restored. उसमें जो nutrients है, it needs to get recharged. So that way they leave their land like this for several years, and then they again select the new land, and then they grow agriculture there. So earlier, so for some time it was banned also, because they say that it creates a lot of pollution when the plants and trees are burned. You know that lot of fumes
Ma'am,
and
stubble burning.
yes, it
We can say that.
yes. So
Yes.
it causes pollution, but still it is being practiced because poor people, those who cannot have their own land, so they are still tribal people. They are still dependent on this shifting cultivation. Okay, so this is the method how it is done, and crops like maize, yam, potatoes, and cassava are grown. So what is yam here? YAM? Can anyone tell me?
Ma'am, a type of crop.
Type of crop to hai hai, obviously. But
Sweet
what type
potato?
of crop it is? Yes, it is a kind of sweet potato. You can say that, but it is little bit different from sweet potato. So if you have seen a sweet potato, it has pinkish skin outside. Okay, the skin of the sweet potato is reddish, pinkish like that, and it is moist inside. Okay, वो moist होती है, but this yam is dark brown in color. It is dark brown in color, and it is dry starchy part it has. It is not moist as sweet potato. Okay, it looks like that, but it has little difference from the sweet potato. So it is dark brown in color, and it is dry and starchy, unlike sweet potato, which is moist and pinkish outside. Okay, so potato, potato is a stem or a root?
Yam is Jimmy
Potato is a
Root.
root.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
root.
yam is Jimmy
No.
we say ma'am.
It's
Yam is Jimmy
ma'am.
or
Ma'am, yes.
yes,
Ma'am,
Jimmy
yes.
Kant.
yam is Jimmy-Kant.
Edible
Very good.
tubers.
Potato is underground stem.
Yes, potato is a stem, so same yam is also a stem. Okay. Yes, Jimmy-Kant, the Sahib has got the right word. Okay, so if you go to vegetable shop, if it is there, ask him to show you Jimmy-Kant. He'll show you. And cassava are grown. What is cassava? Cassava you have already studied in the previous classes. What is cassava?
मैम अफ्रीका में होता है ग्रो ये. अफ्रीका में ग्रो होता है.
Ma'am, a kind of like tapioca, like
Yes,
something
very good.
that
What is
related
पोटैटो
to
टाइप होता है.
Okay.
tapioca में sabudana. Sabudana.
Okay.
Woody
Or
shrub.
Arbi.
Ma'am,
Arbi is also
I
known as
think it's
tapioca.
I'm grown in South
tapioca is,
America.
I think, sabudana.
मैम
Sabudana
अफ्रीका.
is sago.
मैम
Sabudana is
Ma'am, it is
sago.
in Africa.
Tapioca
Ma'am,
is
there are
Arbi.
like tapioca pearls. So-
Yes, tapioca pearls. So it is kind of same family, you can say. So is this cassava is also a type of tapioca only. ठीक है, अरबी जैसी होती है, but it is big in size. Okay, it is big in size, and it is a stem or root again.
Stem.
No, this
Stem.
is root. This is root here. Cassava, tapioca, these are all roots. Yam is a stem, and cassava is a root. So yes, so shifting cultivation, you should know that which areas are there where it is done. So little part of America, Africa, and China and Northeast India. Okay, process you know how it is
Amazon
done.
basin.
And it is also known as slash and burn. Slash means cut. And
Slash
then
and burn
it.
agriculture.
Okay, slash and burn agriculture. There's one video on this. If the time is there, I can show you. So let me complete this. Time is also almost over. So up to here you read it. Okay, nomadic herding